Test, test, test.
I missed this on the schedule last time. I probably wouldn't want to cover it. Good to see you.
Test 1 2. Test 1 2.
You're with me. I'm calling security, man.
I'm on my best behavior.
Do we know such a
You
thing?
on your best behavior. Follow our own advice.
It did seem like there were workers, but we were told we were age. But when I walked in, there was someone already like asking for help. It wasn't definitely using like their computers. It wasn't like cool, but it was actually.
Hello, Chili from Bethesda today. Oh my God, it's a good hi.
Hey, Rex, how you doing?
Good, how are you? Nice to see you.
Happy to be in Montgomery.
Yeah, we're thrilled to have the banner here.
Mr. Acton County Executive.
I know.
The official term is ACE.
Ace?
Ace?
Ace, Acton County Executive. There you go.
What, you're acting?
Mark is just off gallivanting around.
Yes,
again.
Mark is in China.
Did he go to another music
Oh.
festival?
He's in China.
He's in China.
I
Running
don't
some
know if he's
business
doing a
back?
music festival in China. Trying.
vacation?
China and Japan, yes.
Chatting about his last one. Not strictly
We missed the
bluegrass.
boat. We should have followed him on the trip.
I know. There you go. There you go. Bethesda today is
Are they? I wish. Right?
Good seeing you. Likewise. We got a county to run.
Yes.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Dr. Kaufman, how are you?
Good, Pam, how are you?
I'm good. Over there?
Good, thanks. Let me know if y'all need anything.
I think that it's an example, what you saw in there is an example of President Trump leading with cruelty and Governor Moore leading with compassion. So it's quite a contrast.
So which way's the elevator?
Oh, we're going straight down.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Elegant, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Test this.
Talking about station boss.
Sent off to government relations, the workforce people. So it's here in the office, basically students employed. Right upstairs in that office.
Since the, I guess, the governor was going back to like, gotta move this,
Would you mind holding my microphone?
They probably disrupted it. They probably got the robot.
yeah, like disseminating it. What's on here?
Literally, I remember one over at Iverson Mall, and it literally was a box of jelly donuts. Which was always the joke. What is it, a box of jelly donuts? And it
really
literally
was?
a box of jelly donuts.
It's one thing like doing back at work, but it's like you be the spokesperson. Yeah, it's natural. Right.
I did see, yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a bar.
Yeah.
So then, you're gonna feed this back, and then feed the B-roll? Because I'm just thinking 10. It's like 10:06, so like by the time.
That's just. I think we'll see. I mean, I know that Trump and vote have threatened to, accelerate the number of people who get rid of. I mean, I think my sense, and I know some folks I've talked to in my district, they're not trusting the Trump administration to slow down on trying to terminate government employees. In fact, I think they're going to do it as quickly as they can when there's a shutdown. So, but at the end of the day, I think it's critical for us, federal government, state government, local government, places like this to make sure.
He's on at 9:30. I missed this on the schedule last night. I didn't see it. I got a panic call if I get here. I was better able to get up and rolling with him, but he's probably here by now. Nope, he's not.
We're trying to do as much as we can, but no, there's no substitute for the void that the federal government can fill. And unfortunately, the Trump administration is also cutting the types of services that can help with that as well. That's SNAP benefits. So it's an all-out assault from the Trump administration. We know that.
We are feeding back
Pushing back at this point.
the soundbite.
Shutdown. We'd love to open the government back up. The healthcare needs as well. We've got millions of people across the country. $1 trillion cut in Medicaid that's already been put in place. And now the refusal to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits. Millions of people are going to lose their healthcare coverage. And we know that there's many of them without those credits, they can't afford to have it. And that's a life or death issue for sure. So we've got to fight this fight to win.
Do you think we can try sending the B-roll now since it's taking a moment? Or see for Joe to have time to cut it and sound. It's not? Okay. Okay.
It hurt us, right? Get the government reopened quickly, and also make sure we get the healthcare benefits extended to help people, so that they have millions of people who are at risk of losing healthcare.
Because right now, Congress is like,
We're looking for this?
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Appreciate
we're
it.
out of session because the House Republicans left town after they passed the bill with the DOA, and they knew it. But they've been
Had this blazer for years, but never opened the pockets. You know?
Speaker Johnson's only had the House Republicans in session for 12 days.
You definitely need one of those
Senate Democrats and
sewing
Republicans have been
things,
in
you know, the
session
hook.
day after
The
Seam
hook
ripper?
thing. Yes, a seam ripper.
So they keep saying.
Because I always try, when I'm wearing it, it doesn't really budge.
For over a month now, we could have been trying to work this out, and instead they're staying out of town.
I just go like that. Pop it open.
I'm not sure, but I think there'll be pressure on Republicans across the country when those notices start hitting the mailboxes, and somehow have already, saying that your health care benefits are gonna go up $1,000, $2,000, we heard some, $4,000 per month. Those people are gonna get on the phone and say, that's unaffordable for me, who's responsible for this, and more importantly, who's gonna fix it? We can't fix it until the House Republicans come back, sit down at the table, and work with us in good faith to resolve this.
thank you so much.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Penny,
Okay.
you have a card.
Yeah, good to see you. Oh, you have a card on you?
Not right now,
No?
but I sent it to your,
Ramon's got it?
yeah, Ramon has it.
Okay, okay, good. All right, thank you.
Hi, good to see you.
Good to see you. Oh, hey, Brad. How's it going? Good. Good to see
You had a good bite yesterday.
What's that?
You had a good bite with Jackie yesterday.
Yay, there you go.
It's
There you
just
go.
whining.
That's what we're here for. Thanks for noticing. Can we go back a little? Yeah. All right, buddy.
See you.
Joanne.
Morning, Governor. I'm good. My hands are full. That's all right.
Yes.
That's all right.
Dale is not here, which means you don't have to do fraternity stuff. So.
All right.
What'd you learn today?
We continue to see that the pain is real. It's all across Montgomery County. It's all across the state of Maryland. That this that it's not even just this completely unnecessary shutdown that's taking place. It's what was happening to the people of our state even before the federal shutdown began. This assault on our people has real implications, and so it's really good that Maryland has such remarkable public servants, that we are here in a place that is one of the first in the nation that's having a support center for job placements and job supports for displaced federal workers, or federal workers who are fired by the Trump administration. And so I think what people continue to see is that Maryland will continue to lead, no matter the obstacles that continue to come in front of us.
And what are you hearing from employees here about the federal workers that they're helping and maybe the demand?
Well, we're seeing that we have remarkable talent here in the state of Maryland, and remarkable public servants. You know, people who are doing things and making sure that our planes aren't colliding in the air. People who are doing things and making sure that that children are getting food supports. Who now find themselves arbitrarily and in many cases unfairly and illegally fired by the Trump administration. And so I think people are, when they come in, you can see there's a sense of frustration, there's a sense of anger by what they're seeing from the federal administration. But when they leave this building and they see that the state and the county and the private sector is rallying to support them, I think people are leaving with a real sense of hope.
Do you have any real numbers yet on impact on the state of Maryland and Marylanders?
Yeah, well, we know that we've already seen over 15,000 Marylanders that Donald Trump fired before the federal government shutdown. And no state has a greater level of exposure to the federal government shutdown than the state of Maryland. That we have now seen for this center alone, and they have only been open for days. They have now seen close to 300 people come in, and they've been open for days. That we've now seen thousands of people have to go in for unemployment insurance. That people are taking advantage of the no interest loan that the state has offered. We're also seeing that there are federal workers that are still being forced to go to work and not getting paid. And so in the state of Maryland, we've actually allowed for free transportation for all of our federal workers who are going to work and not being paid because it's not fair for them.
You said there'd be limits to what the state can do. Are you approaching the limits?
No, I mean, we're going to continue doing everything that we can to cover down on the people of our states, even on things like Medicaid and WIC and SNAP, making sure that for as long as we can, that the state is going to hold it down. But knowing that we are now days away from the President of the United States cutting food aid for kids, that we're days away from the President of the United States continuing to do this assault on health care, on the American people. You know, the level of cruelty and inhumanity that we are seeing from this administration is real, but the state is going to do everything in our power to support our folks.
But speaking of SNAP and WIC and this funding, I mean, you must have gamed out how long the state can hold out and fill in the gap, and how long are you looking at? And then, are they going to pay them back? Are they going to pay you all back, or is that what you're anticipating?
We're not anticipating any forms of partnership from this federal administration because they have not shown any sense that they want to partner with us. And it's not just Maryland. I mean, I've been speaking with governors all around the country who are feeling the same fear and frustration. The fact that there is no state in America that can make up for when Donald Trump orders for food assistance to be cut for our kids. There is no state in the country that has the balance sheet to be able to make up when Donald Trump orders for health insurance to be cut or for premiums to jump by 95%. I mean, the cruelty that we are seeing from the Trump administration is absolutely staggering. I know that I'm standing and working with governors around the country who say we're going to, we can try to, fill in the holes that the Trump administration is causing. But there is no state in the country that has the ability to fill up for when the federal government says you're on your own.
So how many days? How many weeks? So how many days? How many weeks do you guys have?
No, the truth is that there is no state that has the resources to plan for any form of long-term supports when Donald Trump decides to cut SNAP or when Donald Trump decides to cut insurance for people.
Governor, thank you. In terms of resources, the state has $3.5 billion of fully liquid cash. Will you tap that money to keep SNAP benefits flowing on November 1st if the federal money runs out, as your administration warned last night?
Yeah, the thing that the people of our state know is that we are going to be fiscally disciplined. That we believe in making sure that we can, both fill in social services and support our people, that we've got to focus on economic growth and economic diversification and weaning off of Washington, D.C., but that we also know that to be able to do that and still ensure that we have a strong rainy day, to be able to do that and ensure that we can support economic growth, that is going to be really the future on how we lead out of this when the federal government decides that we're on our own. Those are things that we are also going to hold true to as well.
So will you use that money to pay for SNAP?
No, there's no state that has the resources to make up when the federal government does it, and that includes states to be able to tap into a rainy day fund. And so we have to do things that are going to be sustainable and effective. We are going to make sure that we're doing everything in our power to protect our people, but there is no state that has the resources to include tapping into rainy day that can make up for when the federal government says you're on your own.
I got to ask you a Foster.
Let's do one from Bethesda today, and then we'll do three more. Bethesda today, WAMU, ABC7.
Thank you.
Hi, Governor. I was wondering, I was at your District 18 Breakfast Club talk earlier this morning, and you gave a statistic about job gains in Maryland. I was wondering if you could expound on that and also talk about whether or not those gains have been offset by some of the actions that we've seen cutting down the federal workforce here. Yeah, so
I can touch on it, and I'd love to bring to the Secretary as well. So so since our administration has come on board, we've now added around 100,000 new jobs in the state of Maryland, which is showing that some of the fastest growing job rates that we've had within the United States. And the powerful thing about it is the majority of those jobs have been the private sector, who have come in and understood the level of talent that we have within the state of Maryland, that we've been really focusing on our lighthouse industries like life sciences and AI and aerospace and defense and IT, which are really helping to drive the measures of economic growth that we continue to see within our state. And so, yes, I mean, when Donald Trump decides to fire more federal employees in the state of Maryland than any state in the country, that's going to have very significant impacts, but also why it's very powerful that even despite all that, that Maryland's unemployment rate is still almost a full point lower than the national average is just really impressive, and we're thankful for the work that our team, also the Department of Labor, have done as well. But Madam Secretary.
That's right. I mean, Maryland has had strong private sector growth, but I think the federal jobs impacts could be very significant. We should have had additional numbers this week, but given what's happened with the BLS, that data is going to lag, and it's going to be important that we figure out after the shutdown ends what the numbers are.
Understood. Thank you.
Governor, foster care question. I don't expect you to know all of these details, but some new numbers have come out that show that the foster care system has lost track. There's about nearly 1,000 kids that are considered missing over the past 4 years. Is that troubling to you? I mean, what's your take on that? What are you going to do about it?
Oh, this is deeply troubling, and it's something that's taken up a very considerable amount of time for me and our secretaries and our agency heads, because this is deeply troubling to me. And I understand when people say that this is a problem that happened long before you became the governor and long before you even thought about becoming the governor. I understand that, but I know that in our time, this is something that has to get fixed. That we need to make sure we have better supports for our children. We've got to make sure we're having better prospects for their long-term future. That it's going to be much easier to be able to support them as kids than it is to be able to support a broken adult. And so it's our responsibility to make sure that these systems, even if we inherited them, it's our responsibilities that the systems can be fixed.
Did you hear about this number of missing kids?
Oh.
900 missing kids over the past 4 years.
Yeah, well, we have, I had not heard that specific number, but I know even the numbers that I was briefed on before, it's one is too many, and we got work to do.
Right.
Jenny. Speaking of growth, one of the things that people are bringing into different localities is our data centers. But I've heard from grid regulators that Maryland's grid can't handle it. It's too much on the electricity grid. What are your thoughts on this as a state?
Yeah, I mean, I believe in critical infrastructure. I believe we should invest in critical infrastructure and also the industries that I think have long-term growth prospects for Maryland. I also know that it needs to be done in a way that can better secure the grid, and I think we need grid resilience. I think we've got to make sure that we're protecting ratepayers, and we cannot make economic decisions that we think are going to hose our ratepayers. And we've got to be able to ensure that we're doing things with the community. That when we're talking about growth and expansion of an industry, it is not going to be done to a community. It has to be done with community members. And so I think there's very real work to do. I believe in critical infrastructure development, but I think there's real work to do.
And how are you looking at doing that?
No, I think we're going to have to engage with community the same way we always consistently have been. I think we need to make sure that we have the private sector involved in that conversation. But when we're talking about grid resiliency, that also means, do we have a grid and also an energy policy that really does support all the various aspects of energy creation that can support our people and help our ratepayers? It's one of the frustrating things that we have seen from the Trump administration that's come on board, where I've already said, I am all for, we have to make sure we're dealing with solar and wind and nuclear and a multitude of different energy options that we both have on board right now, and also how we're going to think about energy for the future. But the Trump administration seems to be absolutely convinced that for so many of those options, they are just going to be non-starters, which will continue to decline supply and continue to jack up prices on ratepayers. And so as we're talking about all these new industries and critical infrastructure to include data centers, we just have to ensure that everybody's voice is being heard on that, and also support for ratepayers and bringing these prices down has got to be a core priority for what we're trying to get done.
Are you worried about rolling blackouts?
No, if we do this correctly. And that's the point. We have to have a resilient grid. We for the first time in a while, are actually watching a growing population in Maryland. That is a good thing. People are choosing Maryland. That is a good thing. Businesses are choosing Maryland. We've had over 30,000 new businesses start in Maryland or that we've recruited to the state of Maryland since I've been the governor. That is a good thing. Our job growth rate is strong. That is a good thing. However, we've got to make sure we have a grid that can support that type of infrastructure. We've got to make sure we have more housing that can support that kind of growth. We've got to make sure we continue to investing in our public schools that continue to support the growth. And so everything that we are doing has got to be future-facing, and that includes making sure we have grid resiliency.
Okay, we gotta go. Thank you all.
Thanks, Governor.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. As always.
Thank you.
Is that yours?
Yeah,
I was like, okay, I can't